Hey everybody, what is shakin'? I'm back, it's Nico Iona with Gypsy Juice Intuitive Tarot, here with your collective energy reading for this week. And I have switched it up a little bit. I'm very excited about this reading. I've taken a little more of a structured approach. And what I have here is some new tattoo flash that I just came up with. So what I did is you're going to have your choice of, ooh, there's all my scrap paper coming out, all my crazy notes and stuff. What you're going to do is you're going to pick the image that you like the most, that you're most drawn to, and I'm going to do 6 readings this time. I have pre-drawn cards, and they're all in piles. I did them completely randomly, of course, but there's a set amount of cards, so I'm going to kind of do this in bite-sized pieces. So I hope as I'm talking here, you're looking at these images and seeing which ones you're most drawn to, which ones you like the best. If you already know what your spirit animal is or animals on your totem, maybe go with that one. Mostly though, pick which one your eye is drawn to, because that is the intuitive nature of the oracle cards and tarot. So go ahead, pick an image that you like. We've got, and I'm kind of gonna split this up into bite-sized pieces here. I did 3 of my normal decks, and then a bonus card from all these random decks I had. So those are the only ones I read into. Everything else is going to be a surprise to me too, because I know those cards well enough. But I had a lot of angel cards, ascended master cards, things like that I wanted to work into the reading. So I did a different bonus card from a different deck for each animal, if that makes sense. So they're they're pretty exciting from what I've seen. Only one card from each reading, but I'm more fully prepared this time. So look, I've done my homework. So take a good look. We got this stoner looking happy-go-lucky flamingo guy here. We've got the party boy Mosquito with his little like bloodthirsty cocktail there. We got the lustful wolf. That's inspiration from old cartoon, like old Looney Tune. I don't know if that was Looney Tunes or not, but I took him as inspiration anyway, obviously. Those of you who've seen that cartoon, or Roger Rabbit. Then I've got the diabolical dolphin down here in the corner. The dolphin he always pushes his way into these readings. He's been a huge presence for the last couple months for sure. Then we've got this cute little Gypsy Fox hiding behind her tail there. And then we've got this cigar smoking lobster guy. So please feel free to pick more than one if you're drawn to more than one. I am going to put the timestamps in the comments and pin the comment there at the bottom of the video so you can jump around. So if you picked more than one, you can jump around as you please in the video, or watch multiple ones, or do it as how you see fit. Take it how it resonates. My famous last words. Okay, so I hope you got an image here. And we're going to go 1 through 6, and I'm going to start off with the flamingo. That's the order I drew the cards in. So, flamingos, if you chose the cool guy flamingo. I'm going to start your reading right now. So, I've got 3 cards here, and what do we got? We've got, the 10 of bones or the 10 of wands. Another wand, Knight of Wands. Oh, dang, and the raccoon. All right. So, 10 of Wands, Knight of Wands, all right? So the 10 of Wands or bones in this deck is all about great burdens, bearing great burdens. Usually it's like the weight of the world on your shoulders card, okay? Or rising up to meet some responsibilities that are daunting. And maybe you've been doing that for a while. And what I'm seeing with the combination of these is you have the tendency to rush forward and kind of take care of everything. Okay, but that's been, from what this is saying, is that's been weighing on you. It's been weighing on you heavily. It's been hanging over your head. It's sort of something, it's my responsibility. I have to show up. I have to do all of these maybe, perceived unpleasant tasks to keep everybody going, keep everybody happy, whatever else. And then we've got the raccoon here is the spirit animal card I drew. And this is all about, this is like the gangster of the animal kingdom, or working in a team or a group. And I don't mean to put a negative connotation on that by saying gangster, but it's more like the alpha male in the clan of raccoons stays behind, and he always gets the first pick of the best food because he's the lookout, he's the protector, he's the one who kind of keeps everybody safe, okay? So I'm seeing this big, kind of like, it's like a, I don't mean to mean this as an insulting thing, and a flamingo, I kind of skipped over this part, but the flamingo, the spirit of the flamingo is vibrance and outgoingness and kind of being the life of the party and keeping everybody's vibe up and keeping everybody happy all the time. And wow, does this ever go, does it ever match with this draw? Because it's like the Knight of Wands is like, I got this. I know exactly what to do. I'm going to rush forward and take care of everything with a combination of these, okay? So it's I'm the leader. I keep the family unit together, or the social unit, or I keep everybody's spirits up all the time, or everybody depends on me for these things. But what I'm seeing here is it's weighing very heavily on you, or it's wearing you down right now, and it could be a shift in your responsibilities that it's many of us are just kind of looking around like, what now? You know, how has this changed things for me? Or maybe, you know, maybe it hasn't changed for you much at all. The whole world is changing and your responsibilities are still there. So it's weighing on you very heavily, okay? But you're that go-getter. You're that, I got this. I don't need any help. I'll take care of everything. I'm the provider. I've got this all under control. And so for your bonus card, you've got faith here, which is from the third eye chakra, which is very appropriate for faith because there's no basis of proof for faith and belief. And whenever I draw this chakra card, it always reminds me of that, you know, in Hook where they always like, you gotta believe, Peter Pan, you gotta believe. It's like believing is seeing, right? It's you can't see something until you believe it, but it's this blind thing. It's like faith. And if you're kind of a logically minded person and you're just like, oh man, the only way I've ever gotten anything is elbow grease and hard work, it's just like, I need that proof. I need that tangible evidence and that proof to believe in anything. Well, this reading is kind of saying, flamingos, you know, obviously you want to capture that kind of happy-go-lucky vibrancy, but you're feeling tired out here. But to keep up with that vibe, you just have to figure out how to have faith in your inner beliefs without letting, you know, the mind will collect evidence to shoot all of that down. I mean, they say, what does it say? It takes 7 positive affirmations to cancel out one negative comment or one negative belief. So it's just like, man, positivity and honing in on what makes you believe in your goals and your outcomes. And this card is really urging you to keep going. You know, it's just like, I'm seeing a little bit of like, maybe you've overextended yourself a little bit, like I got this. And I'm seeing a message here to kind of be a little more in receiving mode, like that alpha male. So if somebody offers to do something, your usual knee-jerk reaction might be, no, I got it, don't worry about it. But maybe just, I'm really feeling that right now for you. Just pause and get yourself into that receiving mode, and it's going to go a long way. Because most of the time when somebody offers to do something for you, they really want to do it. I mean, unless you have a gut feeling that they're being manipulative or something like that, that's a whole other thing. But it's just, take the help of people around you. You don't have to do everything on your own. So it's and even if that's not ringing a bell and you're feeling kind of like the Lone Ranger right now, you know, think outside of the box, like with social groups or interactions where you feel like you're putting out energy. And this is saying to you, with the wrap up of this reading, that your efforts are not in vain. They're very important. And if you don't keep going, there's other people that are going to suffer if you don't. So that's really the message there. And it's just having that strength to trust your intuition, your inner drive. All right. And you know, you don't need validation from the outside to believe what you already believe. An instinct's an instinct, okay? So I hope that hit home a little bit. You know, you don't have to always rush forward and take care of everything. It's just, that's really your main message. It's just keep going, but keep going in a way that you take care of yourself. Okay? Flamingos, nice. Okay, I'm making good time. I'm going to keep going here. Mosquito people. So if you chose little partier mosquito guy, here I get your pile of cards right here. So let's see, we've got, ooh, the King of Drums or Pentacles. The Queen of Wands. We got a King and a Queen presence here. Oof. And man, are they ever contrasting. They're kind of contrary to each other. I'll explain that in a minute. And you're, okay, that was in the inverse position. The hummingbird. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. Nice. Too easy. Okay. Mosquito boys. All right. So I'm going to start out with your spirit animal message, which is the hummingbird only flourishes in an environment of high vibration, positive energy, and it all comes down to presence, being present in the present moment. You're not absorbed in your imagination of the future or the memory of the past. You're in the present moment, but this is in a blockage position, all right? It's in the inverse position. So you have a blockage to being present right now. And if your life has slowed down right now, like so many other people, you really have the opportunity to put this up right, all right? And write this. Be present, be vibrant, be present in the current situation, and that's going to deliver you with that deep healing work that you have the opportunity to access right now. And also the mosquito is kind of like the need for defense and protection. So that's probably tying into that whole not being able to connect with presence. It's not like a light switch. Everybody would be present if they could just turn on the light and be like, okay, well, I'm present now, bing. Like it's so much more complicated than that. It isn't. It's simple, but it's complicated because sometimes we don't know where to start. So it's just there's something in your psyche that's protecting you from being present because of the conflict of this marriage right here. And this could be within your own soul, or this could be you versus someone that's close to you or around you, or maybe even a marriage, a roommate, what have you. Take it how it resonates. The King of Pentacles or the drums is all about this calculated, mathematical, I do things by the book and it gets these results, and I can always rely on that, and I'm not even deviating from that because it works for me. I mean, he has good qualities too. It's like reliability, and he can always kind of come through no matter what. But then we've got the Queen of Wands here, who is the spirit of adaptability. All right, so you see the contrast here. This is this by the book nature. This, I know how to get my abundance by acting in this certain way over and over and over again, by routine, by a mathematical calculation. And then we've got the Queen here, which is like, I survive life by going with the flow, by riding each wave that comes in. I have a cool, level-headed approach to this, and I can adapt to any change that comes into my energy field. So we've got this conflict, especially since they're both upright. These are both very strong energies in your reading. They're both highly present. So they're colliding right now. It's a marriage of the Pentacles and the Wands. So it's like that fiery creative energy versus that stable earth materialistic thing, okay? And it's causing, look at this, an imbalance in reaching the next level of high vibration or your next level of consciousness and coming back to presence. A hummingbird can't, it's got to have ideal conditions. Its heart beats like 1,000 times a minute or something like that. It's got to be running perfectly smoothly. So in order to be present, we've got to balance. So your masculine side is needing order and logic and predictability, and your feminine side is just like, that ain't how it works. I'm a free agent. I'm a free spirit. So there's this conflict within yourself or between you and someone else. So that's really coming out. So here's your wrap-up card to all of this, and your bonus card came out of the Gemstone Angel deck. So this is Sugilite. So let me see. So it's incessant chatter, suffering from incessant chatter. Do you grab onto a thought, memory, or life experience and chew it over and over and over again? Wow, can most of us relate to that? Holy cow. So it's like the overthinking. This is the crystal of healing overthinking and dwelling on something over and over and over again and recycling a past memory, or or repeating the same thing over and over and over again, hoping that somebody will understand it in a different way if you put it in a different way. So the advice here is to attract inner peace and great joy every day in many ways by seeing the bigger picture. So how do you do this? We do love vibrating in our being in every aspect, and attracting inner peace and great joy every day in many ways, and seeing the bigger picture, being a miracle worker, working with the law of attraction, so keeping your vibration up. So because of this conflict, whether it's tangible between you and someone else or whether it's within your own soul, there's a conflict, there's a controversy going on. So what you need to do to balance that is quiet the incessant chatter. And I know you've probably heard this a million times, but the way to do that is through meditation. Sometimes movement through meditation can help, like a yoga or a walk, or just do whatever you need to do to not listen to that tape reel in your mind arguing with itself or physically arguing with somebody else. So it's just the message to get that inner peace. You gotta resolve this issue between this free spirit and this structured routine character. It's pretty clear there. So Mosquito, guys, I hope that helped. Let's go on to the wolf. Number 3. So if you chose the wolf, the lustful wolf is drooling over something there. So what do we got here? We got the 9 of drums, or the 9 of pentacles. Woof, the 3 of cups in reverse. Phoenix in reverse. Oh, and this one, I didn't mention, I drew 2 spirit animal cards because they stuck together. I didn't know what they were. Phoenix and the bear. All right. So they came out in the inverse position. And then your bonus card is Be Willing to Forgive from the Healing Angels Oracle deck. So I'm going to start out with the 9 of drums, or the 9 of pentacles. So this came out in the upright position. So this is like being true to yourself, following your own passions, as you can see from the depiction in this painting, this drawing. He's kind of like, he's immersed in his magic. He's wildly independent. He's happy. He doesn't care if other people are judging him. And the traditional meaning of this card is radical self-reliance. It's all about being able to depend on yourself, being able to, it's just independence in every which way. And the drums or the pentacles is tangible. So a lot of the time that has to do with money. So wolves, you already have had a taste of that, or you know how to do that. You know how to be independent. You don't have to depend on somebody else. You don't have to rely on somebody else to give you that self-reliance, that independence. So moving on to the 3 of cups, which came out in the inverse position, reversed. But it looks like, so sometimes this can be a third-party situation gone wrong, like somebody sticking their nose in your business and giving you a really hard time. So that might resonate with some of you. But what I'm seeing here with the combination of that is so I've manifested how to create my own bliss and create my own life, but I've been disappointed. Okay, the celebration, that life milestone that I was expecting, it didn't come through, because that can be gatherings, appreciating diversity with groups of people, getting along well, milestone in life like a wedding, a birth, something like that. But it came out in the inverse position, so it's like a disappointment. So it's just, it's kind of like I'm really seeing here a moment of confusion with these 2 spirit animals as well, because we've got the bear upside down, we've got the phoenix upside down too. So as you probably know, the phoenix is all about rising from its own ashes and coming up for the big resurrection and the big rebirth and the reinvention. The bear is all about intuition, coming out of the cave after hibernating and knowing their deep inner truth and being self-assured. So what I'm seeing here, lustful wolf people, is on the material plane, you've mastered this from a lower level of consciousness, though, I'm seeing. From a tangible, how do I say this? From a tangible, attainable 3D view of life. You've figured out how to be independent, but it's left you in this state of utter disappointment somehow. Okay? You're just feeling disappointed all the time. I'm seeing here very, very clearly. And that's because it's just like you don't have inner peace. You don't know when to trust your intuition. You don't know the difference between your intuition and it leading you astray. And that's a very common problem, because it's just like, well, I thought I was trusting my intuition, then I got this hard lesson and all this stuff thrown in my face, right? And so now I don't even have the energy to rise up and shine all brightly for the world, because, you know, I showed up, I made my own trail, I blazed my own trail, I was independent, I was disappointed, this stuff didn't go the way I thought it was. Well, here's your key, here's your answer to all of that. And you might not like it. I haven't always liked this message myself, but it's this be willing to forgive thing, okay? So it's ask for divine support to let go and forgive. And forgiveness doesn't mean you invite people back into your life who hurt you. It just means you release the toxicity of unforgiveness. So it's just releasing that. It's more like how's that saying go? It's like the smartest do something, the something do something, and then I'm butchering this again, but the happiest people forget. So it's almost like tricking yourself into forgetting and putting things behind you when you've been disappointed here. Okay? So it's kind of like accessing that part of yourself that allowed that deep hurt and pain to come in by someone else letting you down, and releasing it. And this is very deep work. It sounds so simple, and you hear all of this motivational stuff about, oh, you just gotta let it go. Oh, you gotta let it go. That shouldn't matter to you. Don't let them bother you. Blah blah blah. And it's like, of course, no one would let anyone else bother them if they could just turn it like a light switch, like I said. But it's not always that easy, you know. It's just like, but it starts with that willingness to forgive. Okay, so it's just honestly just ask yourself, your inner strength, to forgive whatever hurt you, and it always comes down to actually forgiving yourself. I hate to say, that all paths lead back to that. It's just like, what part of myself do I need to forgive for letting this hurt me so much? It's just like, it's kind of a hidden agenda there. It's just like I was relying so much on this external outcome that when it didn't happen, when it didn't get delivered, I was so let down, and I was completely devastated and shattered over it. And it's just that message of that doesn't come from the outside, it comes from in here. And then the outside will align with that in time. So, wow, does that ever match up with the look on his face? This is like, wow, I really, really, really want this. And, ooh, I didn't get it. But it's just like that deep inner forgiveness, that willingness to forgive the part of ourselves that allowed us to be so hurt, to get so hurt. And that wasn't a mistake, it wasn't an accident, it was part of a lesson. So I hope that resonates a little bit. So moving on to reading number 4, we've got the diabolical dolphin right here, if you chose him. I was really proud of this drawing. I thought it was really unique. So the devil dolphin people. And please, I'm just going to throw in there, please, give me a like, give me a share. Let me know which one you thought was the best tattoo even. Any comments are always appreciated. Any shares are always appreciated. I should have said that little blurb at the beginning of the video. Too late now. So what do we got for the devil dolphin people? If you chose the devil dolphin, okay, we got the magician, the 3 of bows, or the 3 of swords, ouch, and the squirrel, and then we've got your bonus card here, which I'll go over in a minute. So what do we got first here? We've got the going to start out with the Magician. Great card. Card number 1 in the major arcana. This is the ultimate alchemist. He has all of the elements of the earth, of the tarot. You can correlate them all. They even go with card suits, diamonds, clubs, spades, etc., cups, wands, blah, blah. So swords. So they all correlate with each other: earth, fire, water, air. There's always those 4 elements. 4 is a very magical number. So the Magician possesses all 4. He's the ultimate alchemist, the transforming iron to gold, the transforming pain into beauty. Okay, so that's pretty big deal. This was in the upright position. This is one of the most powerful cards in the major arcana. So your dolphin people, and look at this, it's like you're undergoing a phase of massive transmutation. Like, look at the friendly dolphin, sort of gruesome horns, right? Sort of integrating that shadow, experiencing both sides of their personality. So the alchemist, first of all, wow, nice first pick. Why did you get to this point? Because of past betrayal, heartbreak, and again, disappointment. This is a heartbreak card, the 3 of Swords, the 3 of Bows. So this is, again, man, oh man, this is just like the wolves. It's another sort of a, it's not as much as like a letdown, like a disappointment, but this is like a little more tangible. This is somebody really kind of like shattered your illusions of love, like, or something really didn't come through. You felt betrayed. You felt deeply betrayed. But guess what? That was part of your path, because those betrayals, and what is that Phoenix lyric? There's so much more dignity in defeat than the brightest victory. And who cares about dignity, right? But I mean, I don't know if I love the choice of words in that, but it's always, that lyric always sat with me so deeply. It's like that lesson. It deepens those roots of your soul. It teaches you so much when you've experienced this 3 of Bows or 3 of Swords energy. You see how he has this flower growing. This is such a positive deck, this shamanic tarot. It's like his higher self grew because of the suffering he endured. And that's, they say in a lot of the spiritual circles that you don't have to endure suffering and it's not necessary. And maybe that's true. But I want to say that none of it is ever a waste, because lessons are lessons. And the deeper your roots go, because of learning that lesson and knowing it, you're going to be less likely to put yourself in a position where you have to repeat that same lesson. Which makes you into a much more powerful magician or alchemist. So it's just, so like I said with the squirrel, it's like the gathering of these lessons. The squirrel is all about the gathering of those Hansel and Gretel breadcrumbs. Like, every little piece of knowledge that you've acquired along your journey is going to come in handy. Just like every little scrap of food that squirrel collected, they're going to need it and they're going to use it. And guess what? Every heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment, the break of any trust, it's going to come in handy. It always makes you stronger. And not to be cliche, but it's like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and death isn't real anyway, so whatever. But that's we're not going to get into that right now. So your bonus card, again, and this goes right back with what I was talking about to the Flamingo people. It's stay strong in your what? Faith. Okay, so positive outcome is dependent on you keeping a positive mindset. All right, so it's just like the more you entertain a negative mood, a depressed state of mind, the more it's going to grow, the more it's going to have that snowball effect. How do we turn iron into gold? We keep on working at it, and it doesn't even have to be super hard work. It's just a state of mind. It's not letting yourself get bogged down by this hard, heavy energy of defeat. It's still knowing that you can fall back on what is within your innermost being, and knowing that you can always fall back on that and return to that energy, because you're in control of that. It's the one thing you can control, is the way that your emotions, your reaction to things. And the second you react to something negatively, the second you feed into a negative, downtrodden, you're feeding a negative cycle. It's a snowball effect. So the secret to that is just to reach into yourself and get those experiences and say, wow, I've survived that. And now I can move forward. Next, I gathered this, I learned my lesson from it, and now we've got to stay strong in what we believe in. And it's so important. I'm not saying you have to be positive all the time. You do have to let fear and negative emotion into your heart so you can process it, but you don't want to stay there. Once you've processed it, once you've gone over it and over it and over it enough times, it's just be very mindful of not staying there. All right, dolphins? So it's just like, man, oh man, you've been through the ringer. It's just like, just all of this sorrow and having to move on from it when you felt so beaten down, but it turned you into this powerful master manifester. Iron into gold, baby. It's really important. It's just like, those lessons are like pure gold. I know they feel like just dog shit, but I'm sorry, my mom hates it when I swear in these videos. Sorry, Mom. So just stay strong in your faith, dolphins, please. So that wraps it up for reading number 4. I'm going to move on to the Gypsy Fox. So if you chose this beautiful little, very coy Gypsy Fox, here we go here. What do we have? Ooh, another Knight of Wands, just like in the first reading, but in the other deck. 6 of Wands in reverse, and the Armadillo. Ooh, and the bonus card over here. I did peek at that, but I didn't know these. So, we've got the Knight of Bones and the Knight of Wands, and that's like, in this deck specifically, that's the formation of unlikely alliances. So, it's sort of like unlikely friendships and things like that. But the 6 of Wands in reverse is that's victory, and sometimes the 6 of Wands can represent, it's like a victory and feeling high off of that and be like, woo, I won the trophy. And sometimes that can even indicate a little bit of arrogance. So what I'm seeing here, and then the Armadillo, this is protecting your energy. Okay, so having that shield up, having a very, very strong guard up. So, let me see. Let me interpret this here, Gypsy Fox people. Wow, this is a tricky one. All right, so unlikely alliances we got, and also the Knight of Wands, which is traditionally the player of the deck, like that player energy, like I can play anybody, I can manipulate anybody, I'm super charming, that kind of feel, that kind of energy. And then we've got this arrogance in reverse, like almost like it, wow, okay. So this could be somebody around you, or this could be you. This is kind of a harsh message, honestly. I'm much more like positive messages, but this is like I'm really urged to say you've been guarded, okay? So usually this card is like the warning for empaths to protect their energy and all that, but what I'm getting here with the combination of these is kind of like you had a really strong guard up, and probably for good reason, probably for that very reason that I just mentioned, like you have to protect your energy. However, it might have produced sort of like an inflated ego, like false friendships, fake friends, and victories, but empty ones, all right? Like empty relationships, empty victories. I'm seeing, ouch. I'm seeing a lot of that. Like it's kind of like, what am I doing with my life? Like what to what end has this brought me? I mean, it's like I was playing the game. I was making all the right moves. Technically, I did all of this correctly, and it should have brought me all of the success that I was after in the first place. And by my own moral code, which I didn't even know, I just designed that off of what I was taught, and for survival, I did everything right. But now I'm feeling empty. Wow. Ooh. So, okay, and then I drew out of my animal spirit deck for this bonus deck, and it was actually, this was in the last reading. It's the deer, but it came out in inverse. And let me tell you, so for this deck specifically, it would be like a canceled start to a journey, like a missed opportunity to start something new. And that makes sense going right along with that. It's just like this, you missed the boat because you were so guarded and so involved in this game that is not your fault. It's because you learned, that's how you learned to cope. That's how you learned to survive. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? It's just, but you're seeing this as empty. You're seeing this as, it wasn't rewarding for your core self. I hope that makes sense. So here's the end result right here. It's this deer in inverse. And let me tell you what this is all about in the traditional Native American spirit deck. The deer, when it comes out upside down, is all about like not being able to, and unknowingly again, you're innocent in this. I'm not trying to point a finger or saying you're a piece of crap or anything like that, but it's like an unwillingness to take your fear truly into your heart and experience it and drop your guard so you can move past it. So it's making a block for the rest of your progress, because you're not allowing yourself to process your fear. But this is your message right now. There's a blockage that you're not even aware of, and that's not experiencing your own deepest fears, which is probably being emotionally honest with yourself. And it sounds simple, but whoa, are there a lot of blockages that sometimes or obstacles that you need to dissolve within your own psyche to really access that. So it's like you can label this as apathy or selfishness or projecting, but what the end result is always going to be projecting your fear onto other people, which is always just going to be that terrible pushback, that toxic boomerang of, I was holding this subconscious fear on in my psyche so tightly that it boomeranged right back to me and came right back in my face because I was so suspicious of everybody else. So it's just like, man, oh man, it's your main message here, Gypsy Fox, is be vulnerable, and that's not easy to do. I understand that. This is like sometimes it can keep you up all night, but if you just make the move and face that fear, it's just like you do think it's going to keep you up all night again after you do it, but guess what? It's actually very liberating. So if there's something you've been holding back or something like that, I would just let it go. But what do I know? Actually, I know because I had to face some of that myself, and I very much relate to that reading. So Gypsy Fox is, man, that's the harshest. Woo! That's the harshest one yet. Okay, and last but certainly not least, we've got this little Lobster Man, this green bluish Lobster Man smoking his cigar, enjoying his cigar. What do we got for the Lobster Man? Ooh, the Six of Bows, or the Six of Swords, very nice. The Hierophant in reverse, and the Owl in reverse, and then I've got the Archangel Gabriel cards helping children. I did peek at that one. Okay, so I'm going to start off with, all right. So interestingly, I was just actually reading up on this card in one of my books last night. So that's kind of neat. What a nice synchronicity. The Six of Bows, the Six of Swords. So the baseline energy of this card, my cigar smoking lobsters, is it's like, I don't know if you've ever read, I'm dating myself here, but the Phantom Toll Booth. It was this childhood book that I had. And part of this kid's journey was he enters this mystical land called the Doldrums. And it came up with this other example in this book I was reading, but it reminded me of this. It's where everybody was slow moving and they didn't have any motivation to do anything. And it was like, oh, it's 9 a.m. We're going to lay around and think about how depressed we are. It's 9:30. Now we're going to procrastinate for 2 hours. and now we're going to lay in tar and think about how unhappy we are. So that's the baseline energy of the Six of Swords. But the good news about this card is, and it did come out upright, is you have the strength because of that energy to paddle away from troubled, not even troubled, but depressed times. It's just like, it's the motivation to leave murky waters, or, just a space of absolute, like, non-motivation. So it's just kind of like that paddling away from just a space of just non-productive, depressing gloom and doom. So that's what I'm seeing here as you're, and look at that. That's so appropriate because he's smoking the cigar, and like, I mean, I'm just saying this because I'm a compulsive cigarette smoker. And it's just like, the more cigarettes you smoke, the more tired you get. It's not going to get any better. Like with any addiction, the more you do it, the more tired it's going to make you. So it's just like, that's your message so far, is just like, that's not helpful. The upside down Hierophant, ooh, ouch, one I'm very familiar with. This is all about, in this particular deck, this is over kindness, or it could also be not following. I'm seeing with the combination of these cards, though, is not following the path out of that depressed spot. So it's like, so the Hierophant is all about like structure and order and routine, which can be positive, and that's my zodiac sign that rules this card is Taurus. So it's just like that very grounded, routines based, like, I need to know what's coming next, I need this structure, I need this, or else, my day is just ruined. So it's like, this is in inverse. So it's like, maybe over kindness, but I'm not really seeing that here with a combination of these. It's more like a failure to follow a routine, and that's your ticket out of this depressing place. And I mean, I hate that. I hate that message a little bit personally, just because it's really hard sometimes to hold yourself accountable to a routine. And if you're a free spirit kind of personality, it can be really depressing. It's like, I don't like to adhere to no routine. That's not my thing. But this is your advice right now, lobster people. It's just like, create a routine for yourself, hold yourself accountable. That's what you need right now. That's what you need right now to be able to level up your vibration and improve your life. Okay, so here we go with the upside down owl, and that's about not being able to see the truth, being in denial. The owl is all about seeing the whole truth and nothing but the truth, being able to cut through any kind of denial or any kind of self-imposed delusions, things like that. And it looks like there's a blockage to that, because you're almost like, it's like that snowball effect of being just in the doldrums, like I said, of being depressed. It's just really, really snowballing on itself. So here's your solution, your sum up card to that reading, my lobster people. And here we go with helping children. So this could be a literal meaning for you with children in your life. Maybe you have children. Maybe you're a mentor for some children. Maybe you got nieces and nephews. Maybe you've got what have you. Maybe you're a big brother, big sister. Doesn't matter. So that could be literal, or it could be just somebody who maybe doesn't understand things in the same way you do, if that makes sense. My guides have often referred to that or they've often called me a child when I'm like, whatever, talking to the universe or source or whatever. It's just like, oh, you're a kid, you're a child, you don't get this yet. So how I'm interpreting this personally here, is just like, anybody who looks up to you, help them out. When you're in doubt, fall back on service. It's just like, oh, what an angelic message. Thanks, Archangel Gabriel cards. But yeah, for real, when you're in doubt, fall back on serving others. And that is going to get you out of the doldrums, lobster people. You don't have to chain smoke. You don't have to fall into the doldrums in whatever way, taking too many naps, overeating, all of this other stuff, what have you. I'm not seeing like a diabolical presence here. It's more of just like I'm depressed and unmotivated thing. So helping children and their soul recognition is going to be lit up. when you help them out. So it's just like that. That's going to be your sense of purpose, is helping other people out, teaching and guiding. So it's just like, don't look for the lighthouse, be the light. It's your services are needed. Trust me, everybody's needed. We're all here for a reason. So lobsters, I hope that hits home a little bit. Thank you so much for listening to the reading. I hope you enjoyed it. There's my flash art. And remember, please give me some comments, help me out, give me a share, give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it so much. And thank you for tuning in. Have a lovely evening, day, afternoon, whatever time you're watching it. Thank you so much again. Bye.